Good morning, everyone. Oh, not morning where you're at? That's okay, because we can have eggs for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Welcome to episode 28 of Three Eggs Are Better Than One. I am Brad Stanton, along with fellow eggs Matt M. and Brian Haremza. We would like to thank everybody for last week, all your support from last week's episode. It was quite a hoax. I hope you enjoyed it. And we did also pick some of our favorite TV characters. Seems like something we could talk about every week. But let's talk about the good news, because I think we need some in this room. So, Matt, what's your sunny side up this week?
So my sunny side up is that I had my own personal Brad Deli experience, but it was me at the bagel shop. So I walk into the bagel shop and there's an older woman ahead of me. It was kind of crowded, but there was only everyone else was waiting for their order. And she was kind of hanging over the bakery case, and I could see there was a commotion with the worker there. It's probably like a 16-year-old girl working the counter. And then I see these giant muffins that they have. This old lady is making this poor girl pick up each muffin and spin it around so she can evaluate the status, the outer rim of each muffin. And this poor girl had to explain that, like, they're cooked in a pan where they're like mushed together, and then when you separate them, maybe it's not perfect anymore. Maybe there's a little bit extra sticking off of one, and maybe there's a little indentation on another one. And this lady just wasn't having it. She made her display like the entire like 12 muffins until she. And the best part was the young lady working there looked up at me, and I was almost bursting into laughter because number one, it was hilarious, and number two, I was thinking about Brad at the deli the entire time and how I couldn't wait to talk about this on the show because it was so ridiculous. So that was a great experience for me. Even though it probably cost me a few minutes of my life, it was worth it because it was very enjoyable. So that was
Awesome.
my Matt at the bagel store.
So how long did this go on?
I mean, it felt like 5 minutes, but there's no way it was it was 5 minutes, right?
It's
It seemed
deli,
like
it's deli in time. Like it's brutal.
it was right. I mean, now if I continue to experience things like that, it's going to become excruciating. But since it was a hopefully one and done and reminiscent of the stories you tell, I was really just enjoying it. I was soaking it up.
Awesome. More and more, I think you live, you'll notice this more and more now. And I don't know if that's a good thing for you or anybody,
Yeah.
but it is something. There is a lot of annoying people out there that make more out of something than they should.
There was something cosmic happening there. That probably would not have occurred if I didn't know about all your deli stores.
So I got a different kind of sunny side up this week. Recently, the news broke that the Menendez brothers have been resentenced to life with the possibility of parole, which means they're going to be up for parole very soon. Now, the opinions you have about the Menendez brothers, the boys that killed their parents when they were younger. There's a lot of stories out there about how they were abused, sexually abused. We don't know what's true, what isn't. We also know that it was probably a very difficult situation, but I'm not here to take to convince you one way or the other. What is the sunny side up here is that we can reevaluate a case 40, 35, 40 years later and realize that the world has changed and maybe we missed some things 30, 40 years ago that we shouldn't have missed. Maybe it was a tougher world then, a little less accepting of some things of mental health or abuse. And whether or not you agree with whether these young men or older men now should be released or not is irrelevant to at least now we're looking at something differently through the eyes of 2025 that we wouldn't have in 1989. So that's my sunny side up.
Now, did something happen like this week? Because I know that it was newsworthy like a couple months ago, but maybe I
2 days
missed.
ago.
Yeah, maybe I must have missed. Um, so it was something official happened then. That was
Yeah,
an
they've
official.
been resentenced to life with parole. Um, Now that can still take years.
Yeah, I was gonna
Okay.
say, when is the next like
So
parole on the
it's not
calendar?
like they're just going to get a parole hearing today, and they can be turned down for parole.
Yeah, but
Uh,
those are scheduled? things, parole, right? There should be an established date,
I
right?
don't have all the information yet
Yeah.
on that, but there's light at the end of the tunnel for them and for anybody that that has more evidence out there of, or just a reevaluation of a different time. So
So do you have a personal opinion on what
yeah,
should happen?
I think whatever the case is at this point, even if they weren't sexually abused, there was a lot of abuse, and I think 35 years is about it.
We've
I
covered it.
think it kind of reminds me of like the Gypsy Rose, where sometimes I think they feel there's no way out, and we can never know really. It's really easy to have an opinion when you don't ever have to deal with anything even close to abusive as maybe they went through and what she went through, and it's really easy to say, yeah, you killed your mom, you killed your dad, you killed your mom. But I had really nice. I still have very nice parents. Matt, I know you're happy. And it's like, you know, I, what I'm saying is that you don't know till you know if you're in that situation where you feel there's no way out. That's all. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, great. And I also think that Netflix series Monster did have a very huge effect on this as well. I think that also played a factor in kind of the landscape change, the perception also changing for
Yeah.
their story as well.
And the Menudo series, a documentary that Menudo came out and says that the Menendez father abused them.
Huh.
There's a lot out there. I don't know. All I know is that they at least are looking at something and nothing's permanent anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
It's good.
What do you got, Bryant?
So my sunny side up is, as you're listening to this, I am just coming back from seeing my youngest niece, graduate high school. I feel super old because I still remember the day she was born, and it feels weird not weird, but like seeing her grow up before my eyes has kind of been like this. It's a great thing. I'm not obviously, not a parent like my fellow eggs here, but
Not yet.
yeah, you say that, yeah. Um, but she's kind of like watching her grow up and seeing her become this, beautiful young lady, and seeing her graduate and, chasing her dream. She's going to be attending Full Sail University down in Florida. So fantastic for her. And, my sunny side up is just getting to see her pursue her dreams and graduate high school this weekend. So
Isn't
It's usually me doing that, so it's glad to hear you doing
I
that.
know, right? Yeah. I thought I'd take the Brad stance this week.
yeah. We've both had Bradisms already.
Yeah.
Isn't Full Sail where they do NXT?
They did. That's where they did it. Yes.
They used to.
They used to, yeah. Before they moved to the Performance Center.
Right. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hard boiled time, and I feel like this episode started hard boiled, and you guys don't even know it. So, I have this app on my phone, Life 360. It's called. I think I might have mentioned it. I don't know, either with the other eggs here or on the air. And what it does is it tracks everybody in my house's phones. I know how fast you're going. I know where you're at. I know when you come home. I know when you're leaving. All of it. And it's really a safety issue, or anything. And we've kept it on even when the kids are adults, just so that we know that everything's safe. And if we have a question, we can ask them, "Hey, what are you doing there?" That kind of thing. Even though they're older. However, I turned it around the other day and I look at it. It says crash detected. And it has my daughter's Kendall's name on there. I'm like, oh, no. She didn't crash, okay? It was just letting me know that I can enable that if I want to. Okay, then why is there a picture of her, okay? You know what I mean? Like, why did you have to scare me? Why did you have to freak me out? Why did you have to have a picture at all? How about just like a thing to my email or to anywhere that says, hey, would you like to enable cat crash detection? Not a picture saying crash detected with a picture of my daughter. No thanks. Hard boiled there. All right, so I'm back at the deli. And man, I tell you, I don't usually make fun of people like this, but these two people, a man and a woman, would not stop talking. They were just talking. And the deli the deli employee goes up and shows them the meat and says, "Does this work for you?" And he looks at her, he goes, "What do you think, Barb?" No. So what, we're gonna have a long discussion about this? What do you think? So she looks at it, she grabs it, she turns it around and says, "Oh," she goes, "The size is fine, but I don't think this is the meat I want." And then she says what she wanted, and he said, "Yeah, that's what I have here." He goes, "No." She goes, "I want, you know what?" And then they started talking amongst themselves, saying, "You know what? I really want that turkey with the crusty on the outside." Now this is all going on. They're changing their order. Perfect. Just absolutely perfect. This goes on forever. So then he slices another piece of meat, and then she's like, actually, I would like that a little thinner now. So now you've changed the order, and now the size is a problem again. So I finally get my order in, and not a big deal. But now these people are part of my life in this grocery store. Every aisle I go down, they're in it, and they're blocking both ways. And by the way, they're not even together. They're not even an item. They're just there. They like met up there or something like that. They're not husband and wife. You know why I know? Because they won't stop talking. And I'm involved in. I'm around everything they're doing. You know that I know you say you guys don't shop, but when you do, you're stuck with those people that you're shopping with because you're all going down the same aisle, up and down the whole time. And I'm telling you, I couldn't stand these people. I wanted them out of my life, and they wouldn't leave. Finally, I just hit my cart as hard as I could against theirs, and I took off. Maybe not as hard as I could, but it was enough that I made a point. Everybody stopped talking then.
That's how you got to do it. You gotta assert the dominance every once in a while.
I feel like we don't emphasize the end of the stories too much, but if we really heard the denouement to the 10 times you've told the deli story, you've only actually walked away with meat like 5 times.
Right. Finally, I am not a fan of this whole Facebook marketplace. Remember, I've talked about this before, going to someone's house I don't know and picking up a table. Well, recently, Deb Sue, darn it. She sold a table. So Lotus was supposed to have this table for her new apartment, ended up being too big. So now she's selling it on Facebook Marketplace. Now she sold it on Facebook Marketplace. She bought it off there herself. So these people come to the house, and this is a heavy ass table, right? Heavy table. And there's like 8 chairs. I don't know who Lotus was having over. Okay. 8 chairs. So I'm helping, and I'm getting the thing in their car with them. And it's a dad and his son-in-law. And the dad says, I don't know about the condition of this table. He goes, what are you asking for? I go, first off, I don't have any idea. I'm just here. I'm just a muscle. Okay. I am not here to negotiate this. I go, first off, I negotiate every day of my life. I am not negotiating this. Do you want it or not? I don't care. I don't care. So we load it up, and then they call back later and they want to return it. So now this heavy ass table is back in my shed. Okay. And it's raining, and I'm pissed. I am so pissed. I want to stop selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I don't want to get stuff on Facebook Marketplace. I negotiate for a living. I don't want to talk to people that are trying to nickel and dime me while I'm loading their car up. I'm done with it. All right. You saw pictures online. The thing was in bad shape or in good shape, whatever it was. There were no secrets. Hard boiled.
Wait a minute. When did they change their mind? At what point?
So this is what happened. This father-in-law talked his son-in-law into thinking this table wasn't worth the money. And then when they got home, his big mouth talked everybody into it to return it.
Okay. I don't use this Facebook market.
Neither do I.
But how is it not all sales are final?
Well, because you get a review, and then it's just like eBay. If you had a bad experience, it's just like anything. It's like how I have to fix someone's car until they die because I'll get a bad review. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you have a leg to stand on if they paid for it and took it.
Paid for it in full and took it.
Oh, I don't like this.
I don't like it either, and I'm very hard boiled over it. And I cannot believe this thing is back in my shed.
I don't like it.
It's heavy. It's very heavy. Now she has it resold tomorrow, and she added to it. Needs a little TLC, but the pictures say everything. It's not. It's very sturdy table. It just needs refinished. You know what I mean?
When you load it up for them, you have to throw in there. Oh, by the way, no takesy backsies. So drive away, and no takesy backsies. Go, just leave.
Should have said it.
I was ready to say
that would hold up in court.
We can stop doing this right now, but I'm not allowed to be that way. The wife around. Anyway, Matt, it's your turn for a topic. I hope everybody enjoyed the hard boiled. And we are not doing brown eggs because Matt couldn't think of anything. So, yeah. Matt, what are you doing? Just whatever you want?
Before I start my topic, I want to sneak something else in here. And it's a little relevant to what you're saying about Menendez and reviewing something. And also, sunny side up, I was pleased at Major League Baseball's announcement this week that Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe, their lifetime bans have been overturned.
Oh, I am not pleased at all.
Oh,
I'm not pleased because Pete Rose has been fighting for this his entire life. So
oh
he got,
no. I
and
agree
now
with you there.
I would turn it down unless there's a big check involved.
It's too little too late.
Very too little too late. And I'm not a Pete Rose fan, but it's just the principle of it.
Just because he was a jerk and a gambler doesn't mean he wasn't one of the best players ever. Look at all the other stuff people did.
Yeah, I agree, but it could have happened 20 years ago.
Well, that I totally agree with. All right, so I'm going to go with chicken or the egg, which we have not done often, and that is preferences. And I got a couple of questions for you guys. Tacos, crunchy or soft?
I had both the other day, but I prefer crunchy.
Prefer crunchy, Bryant?
Depends on my mood. I will do either or, but I am a crunchy as well.
Yeah. I like crunchy. I'll go for some, yeah.
I will also, to mix it up, go tostada as well. So
Oh, come on, let's not get out of hand.
It's not one of the choices.
It's still technically crunchy. Just saying.
All right, I have a few more of these. What about Cheetos? Crunchy or puffy?
Man, again, love them both. And it is just depending on my mood. And it also depends on the brands.
The brands is absolutely a factor. Because here I am calling it Cheetos, which is a brand name.
Yeah.
Cheese puffs.
Cheese puffs, cheese curls.
Yeah.
Now,
doodles.
Man, I'll tell you what, I can go for some cheese curls right now. Cheese curls. All right, so we're going to go with that for now.
Yeah.
The hard ones.
Bryant?
I hate them all. I think they're all trash.
I mean,
they're not good for you. They're about the worst thing for you in the world.
I've never been a fan. Never liked them. Don't eat them. Yeah. Always pass them.
It's a junk food for sure. I was hoping somebody would swoop in with cheese balls.
Yeah, I thought about cheese balls because I was thinking about the can.
Like one of those big giant.
The canisters.
No, I was thinking about the old blue cans. In the good old days, planters.
All right, how about this? Orange juice, no pulp, some pulp, or lots of pulp.
I'm a pulp guy. I think pulp has a bad rap.
I am shocked that we're in agreement on this because I am a lots of pulp guy.
Yeah, I like pulp.
All the pulp.
Trying to figure out how this turned into a Matt M questions episode. No pulp. I'm not a fan of it. Like, I mean,
I'll you just drink orange drink while you're at it.
I'll do some pulp, but if not, I prefer no pulp at all. I'll drink orange drink, by the way. Don't you dare disparage orange drink.
Yeah. Orange drink's up there with Cheetos.
Those are definitely, yes. You can get a combo meal that includes both of those. All right, last one for chicken or the egg. And I feel like I may have mentioned this before, or maybe it was just an angry text. What do you prefer? Having dog poop on your lawn almost never, or having signs that tell you you don't want dog poop on your lawn 24/7?
I don't understand the question.
I don't get this. Yeah, what?
I walk by my neighbors' houses and they're riddled with signs trying to tell people to curb their dog. And there's usually an image of a dog shitting. That's what you want on your lawn?
Oh, I see. Why have the sign? What do you want, shit or the sign? I'd rather have the shit.
To be constantly reminded of dog poop? That's what you want? How often is a dog actually going to poop shit on your lawn? Probably not that often. Almost never. I don't think it's ever happened to me.
Well, it has happened to me.
Yeah, we know.
We know, Brad. We know.
Chicken or the egg? Poop.
Very good. No, that was fun. You just did Matt's questions is all you did.
Yeah, this is Matt's questions. I said, yeah.
These were
he just did it. It was just a third of the ones he normally asks.
These were either ors.
No.
No.
They're questions because all your questions are either ors.
Yeah.
Wow, great job.
Oh, no, they're often open-ended.
Okay. I mean, it's very sneaky. Very, very sneaky. All right, soft boiled time. And if anybody remembers what soft boiled is, it's our song of the week or music preference, anything like that. So, well, I guess we're going with Bryant since Matt just went. What do you got?
Yeah. So, I was cleaning out my car the other day and found my old big binder of CDs. And naturally, what did you do back in the day? You made mix CDs. You find your song, you download it on LimeWire, give your computer the worst virus it's ever had in its life, and then you get your music. And was just decided to throw some couple CDs on just to see how terrible my taste was back in the day. And a song came on that I totally forgot I had on there. Totally forgot I just loved. And I was like just listening to it all day to the point that Sue was annoyed, going, "Why would you listen to this?" And the song is called Stuck by Stacey Orico. And I'm sure neither one of you have heard of it. Uh, it's this like horrible preppy pop song from the early 2000s. And it was like she had two hit songs basically, or what she's known for. And this was one of them. And for some reason, like when I was in high school, it just stuck with me. And then now that I've heard it again, it's just still rattling around my head. So that's my song of the week. It's Stuck by Stacey Orico.
No idea.
Never heard of it.
That was the whole point of this. Because
Nope.
I knew
No
neither
idea.
one of you would.
I don't have any comments.
Yeah. I'm happy I could stun you both.
It could be made up.
It could be made up.
Trust me, I'll send you the video for it. It's not.
So I'm going to piss off everybody even more. So everybody knows I'm an American Idol watcher.
Oh, God.
So I'm going to make a recommendation to everyone out there that doesn't watch. I challenge you to watch the top 10 once that starts. Forget the auditions, forget the top 24, forget Hollywood Week, forget all that. Watch the top 10, and it's usually about 3 or 4 weeks of it. Because what's really cool about it is that you have country singers, you have gospel singers, you have R&B singers, all different kinds of singers. But they have to sing songs a lot of times that maybe don't fit that genre. Like, for instance, Disney Night was the other night. And Jamal Roberts is his name, made Beauty and the Beast basically an R&B song. There was a Slater McNally that made Can You Feel the Love Tonight by the Lion King a country song. It's just cool sometimes to hear. It's not a karaoke. American Idol is not a karaoke, especially when you get to this high level at the end here when you're top 10, top 5. It's just very good that they can like make a song that was never country or never R&B that way. So it's enjoyable. So that's my music of the week.
Okay.
Matt, you're getting dark over there.
Yeah, it's back. So I've been listening to a song called The End by Mammoth. Do you guys know who that is? They just recently changed their name from Mammoth WVH to Mammoth. The WVH stands for Wolfgang Van Halen, the son of Eddie Van Halen from Van Halen. Now, I was never really a big 80s Van Halen style music guy, but I think we all know who that is, and they have a ton of hits. So his son, Eddie's son, Wolfgang, is a great guitar player. He's got a solo band that goes by, or a band of his that goes by Mammoth. And I guess they got an album coming out. So they just put out this new music video. It is fantastic. It was directed by Robert Rodriguez, who made the movie From Dusk Till Dawn, amongst other movies that you probably know. But the video is sort of a satire or a callback to Dusk Till Dawn. Danny Trejo is in the video. Slash is in the video. Some other musicians, and it's one of those music videos where there's a story. They're the band. They're supposed to play at this dingy nightclub in Mexico, and all hell breaks loose, literally. Kind of just like the movie From Dusk Till Dawn, which, by the way, everybody should watch. It was written by Quentin Tarantino many years ago. It's a great movie. And it's a really good rock song too. I mean, the guy can sing pretty good, and he can certainly play the guitar. And I think that you'll probably hear more from this kid as time goes on, because I think he's got a lot of talent, and I think he's going to be a bigger star. And it's an awesome music video, like with a story and everything.
The End.
It's called The End.
I thought you were going to bring up The Doors. This is the end.
This is the end. Yeah, they have a song as well that's called that.
Yeah. Interesting. I'll have to check it out. About you, Bryant, you a big Mammoth guy?
Never even heard of them. So we'll go with that. They haven't made it to Nebraska yet. We're still behind on the times.
Yeah, his first album was only came out like 4 years ago, I think. But after his father died, and
Like I've heard the name because like we get for Red Rocks, I've seen them be like as a Red Rocks performance, but I never look into a lot of the bands if I don't know the name or nothing catches my eye. So, but I know of them, but just never heard anything from them. So
yeah, and now you do.
no, you.
All right, Bryant. Omelet time. What are we doing this week?
Well, for the omelet this week, it comes on the heels of a friend of mine is very excited to see Happy Gilmore 2, which will be coming to Netflix. Cheap plug, I guess. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it because Happy Gilmore to me was such a fantastic movie that to me the sequel is not necessary. You ended it on a great note. And the issue that sometimes I have with Hollywood is we have a great movie. We have this box office smash, and then we go, let's make a sequel and see if we can make more money off of it. Doesn't continue the story, doesn't have sometimes the same actors, and you're just trying to capitalize on success. Now, don't get me wrong, there have been some sequels that help the movies move on, but I'm going to give you some examples. So I'm going to give you 3 examples of movies that I'll be honest, I have watched. And then I'm going to also give you I will actually give you the top 5 worst sequels as rated by Rotten Tomatoes. Because some of these movies, obviously, the top 5, some I've never seen, but I want to base this on what I've seen. And I might surprise you with one of them. I will be honest here. Actually, I'm confident I'll probably surprise you with one. So the first one we're going to talk about here is Zoolander number 2, the Magnum edition here, as you see here. Basically, what we're going for here is Zoolander and Hansel find themselves brought back into the spotlight to go to a fashion show in Rome, and they are then cast into as detectives as the beautiful people are being, or someone is killing famous pop stars, and it's up to Derek and Hansel to help save the world and the most beautiful people from a similar fate. Now, this movie also comes out about 12 years after the original movie. So you have a long gap in the middle as well. And the premise has nothing to do with anything that the original movie went through. You're just kind of rehashing to rehash an old movie. And basically, to me, you didn't have any original ideas, so we do this. You bring back some of your original characters, obviously Hansel and Zoolander, and the story wasn't there to make it a good tie-in to what the original had success with. And it's more of a modern movie that I don't know, have either of you guys seen this? I guess I should ask that as well.
I haven't seen it. But I'm liking Penelope Cruz's outfit here.
Yes.
So I actually just watched 1 and 2 very recently.
Fantastic.
I saw Zoolander, the original one, when it came out, which was 20 years ago, and I hated it. I thought the characters and the faces they did were stupid, and I was expecting something, different. I don't know. I like Ben Stiller, but maybe I don't like when he does these characters.
Correct. Yep.
So we were at a friend's house, I swear to God, a month ago, and we were all hanging around, and Zoolander, the original one, was on again, and I thought it was hilarious. And the cast is stacked.
Yeah, that first movie is amazing.
Super stacked. So then the next day, I just purposely put on Zoolander 2. And yeah, like you said, it's pretty much trash.
Yeah, there's no real premise to it, I guess. Like, it's just, hey, let's just throw this movie out there to kind of get that nostalgia feel. Like, nothing's there for it. So for our second movie we'll choose here, I'm hoping this gets a good laugh here. We're going to go for Speed 2 Cruise Control. Now, this movie was so bad, Keanu Reeves himself didn't even want to star in it. So that should give you the first indication of how bad this is. They did manage to convince Sandra Bullock to come back, but at that point, you're on a boat. Let's just be realistic here. Basically, the premise of the movie is Sandra Bullock's character and Alex Shaw, who plays Patrick, a couple go on vacation on a Caribbean luxury cruise ship, which is hijacked by John Geiger, who is played by William Dafoe. While trapped on board the ship, Anne and Alex work with ship's officers so that they can stop this cruise ship from crashing into an oil tanker. Now, the first Speed movie was a bus, which I could get behind the premise of, hey, this bus can't go below 55 miles an hour. When you're on a boat, how do you control speed at this point? You're on a boat. And the idea of a hijacker coming in, and the premise was the boat was going to crash into an oil tanker. I feel like, again, we're a boat. You can easily just call the other boat and move it. Like, there's no, like, what are we doing with this intent on here to create this? Again, Speed wasn't the $1 million blockbuster, but it had that cult following. This, again, is part of the cash grab because, hey, the first one was great. Let's try this. So, have either of you seen Speed 2?
I didn't because who I'm not even a fan of Keanu Reeves, really, but I didn't because he wasn't in it.
I understand.
So, first of all, you put way more thought into it, Bryant, than any creative mind on the film did.
100%.
Was the first movie not like a raging success? Thought it was.
It was kind of that critical success that came with, it wasn't like the huge block. It wasn't like overseas success, but in America, it did have a success, which is what led to the sequel here.
I did see Speed 2 in the theater.
Were you the only one there?
I don't remember anything about it. That was the only time I saw it. And I don't remember. I don't even remember Willem Dafoe being in it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how, again, very unmemorable movie this is. So for the final movie we're going to talk about, I might surprise you with this. And I also partially blame my mother. My mother was a big fan of this musical movie. And so naturally, when the sequel was made, she naturally forced us as her children to watch it. And of course, I'm talking of Grease 2. Now, Grease 2 stars Michelle Pfeiffer as the lead character, and then Maxwell Caulfield, who plays Michael Carrington, a British foreign exchange student. The movie's premise is you're taking place 3 years after the original, which is the Sandy, and which is John Travolta and that crew, but there's no real tie-ins other than it's the Pink Ladies and the T-Birds. The Michael Carrington character here is actually supposed to be Sandy's cousin coming to America to figure out what it's like to be here in America, but like, I don't know how to explain this, but they go overboard with the musical numbers. There's nothing that's real catchy with the songs that are in this movie. And I mean, it does do well. Like, Michelle Pfeiffer has, like, they consider this a star-making performance, air quotes, because, the movie's not very memorable. It's more memorable for its being over the top and trying to just capitalize on the success of the first movie. So, have either of you seen Grease 2?
So I have.
Oh my God.
And
thank God.
I think when I saw it, I was young. So what I remember is that it was exciting to see it because it was Grease too.
Mm-hmm.
It was very different. I believe the only returning character, maybe besides maybe some teachers, was the one with the pink hair that had the Easter egg hair.
Yes.
The beauty school dropout.
Yep.
But even her, she didn't have a major role in it. And I don't even know did Sandy even introduce him, or was she? Okay, so she wasn't in either.
So you're thinking of Frenchie. I think is who you're talking about.
Frenchie, yes.
Yeah. So she's the only one from the first movie who comes back as like one of the actual characters from the first movie.
How I took it was that this is the next generation of T-Birds and Pink Ladies. Is it Pink Ladies?
Yeah, Pink Ladies. Yep, you're right. Yep.
I don't think I hated it. It wasn't as good. I remember a bowling scene where they were bowling and they were going over top of the lanes and bowling into the next lane, and that really bothered me.
I understand that. Matt, have you even seen this?
I have not, nor have
Ah.
I seen Grease 1 in its entirety.
How have you not seen Grease?
Hang on. I've certainly seen like the famous musical numbers. I can picture some of that, but I don't think I ever saw it from start to finish.
Grease is like a classic. You gotta see
Yeah,
it.
I think Grease is good.
I mean,
didn't
Grease is
say
the
it
one you gotta
wasn't.
go for.
I just said I didn't see it.
Well,
I mean, Grease is the way. It's a movement. It's a feeling.
I'm glad that it
he
exists.
doesn't even know that's a song. You know that, right?
I know. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing it. So on that note, I do have to mention this. There are on Rotten Tomatoes the top 5 movies for sequels that have been rated 0 as the worst sequels, and they're all tied at 0, which are Super Babies, Baby Geniuses. Obviously, I figured that one. The Return to the Blue Lagoon.
Okay.
So Blue Lagoon. Have you know Blue Lagoon at least, Matt?
Yeah, that's the Brooke Shields, right?
Yes, that's Brooke Shields. Yep.
Never saw.
Okay. Then we have Staying Alive, which is the sequel to Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
With John Travolta. Yep. We then have Highlander 2, The Quickening.
Nah.
Nope, not on that one. Okay.
The Quickening sounds badass, though.
It does. And then, of course, our 5th and final movie here, Police Academy 4. Citizens on Patrol.
Oh, that's
I
when
love Citizens on Patrol. That's the one where they hired the citizens to be like cops.
Yeah. 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, come on, man. They're all terrible. Every one of them are terrible. What was
one of them terrible
on that one?
But that
Police
one,
Academy 2 was awesome.
That's the only one that
What
has
about 7, the straight to video version? What?
Oh, I'm sure that if I dig deep enough, I might find it. But yeah, as of now, it is not. And actually, funny enough, Police Academy 5, which is Assignment Miami Beach, has a 1%. So it is technically slightly better than 4.
I mean, Steve Guttenberg was still in 4.
Yeah, that's what's crazy. So, do you guys have any sequels that you can think of? I know.
I wrote
some down.
Perfect.
Go ahead,
Perfect.
man.
So these are just like from my personal experience, and some of them are recent, just because that's what I remember. I was so disappointed in 2020. Finally, the long-awaited Bill and Ted Face the Music, many years after the original Bill and Ted movies, and I think the second one is great.
Yes.
And the movie it sucked. And it was like the end of 2020, which was like the worst year for everybody. It was like finally something to look forward to, and just this will be cool. No, wasn't good. Also last year was Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. That movie sucked, and anybody who says that anything otherwise is completely wrong. I had Speed 2 Cruise Control on here.
Yes.
How about this one? Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2.
Terrible.
Abomination. I really like the original movie, and then they destroyed it with City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold.
Horrible.
The first one was good, though. It's funny.
Yeah.
City Slickers is good.
How about this? Same thing. First one is a classic. Second one, many years later, Independence Day Resurgence.
Awful. It was a freaking. It was a science fiction movie.
Yeah,
I mean, I know they both are, but it just didn't. It had like a science fiction terrible feel.
Rocky 5, obvious.
That should not be on any list.
I was waiting for Brad to come in on that one.
I mean, it's not his best Rocky, but it's not. Yeah. It's not in the league of what you're talking about here.
And so my personal favorite, funniest movie ever is Dumb and Dumber, and then they went ahead and made Dumb and Dumber 2, spelled T-O, like how you guys like to fucking spell it, in 2014, and it was like it was like so unmemorable. You know, I watched the first one 100 times and the second one once.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. And that's the thing. You have these memorable movies, and you just go, I got to capitalize on that. No matter if it's years later, right away, that sequel comes out, and it's not there.
Now, there is such a thing as good ones. And Bryant, I'm really counting on you to have this as a topic for a future episode, because I already made a list of good sequels.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently you have to do it, Brian.
Yeah, no, it's coming. So yeah, I will do it. And I will do it. Yes. Thank you. Brad, what do you have?
All right. So I went a completely different direction here with some of these. Weekend at Bernie's 2.
Oh,
Oh,
terrible.
so bad.
Terrible.
So bad.
How do you make a sequel to this?
Yeah.
The guy was dead from the beginning. How do you make a second one?
Supernatural.
Not only should the 7 Marines not happened, the first Marine shouldn't have happened.
Never saw any of them.
It's just ridiculous that they even made one sequel.
Miz did
All
3
right,
of them.
so
if
I
I'm
am
not
a
mistaken,
big fan of these next 2 franchises, but there are particular movies in each of them that are terrible. Nightmare on Elm Street 2. No connectivity at all to the first one.
Yeah.
The third one, you got some original characters. Fourth one connects. Fifth one connects. Then they start, and many years go by, so it's a little different. But 2, no. Just no.
Yep.
So bad.
Agreed.
Finally, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Yes. Yep.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, it's not the same universe as the
Not
rest.
It's
in the
not
same
the same
world.
universe. They shouldn't even call it a sequel. They should call it Halloween: The Next Story or something. Anything other than it's. Even if you like the movie, it's not. It doesn't belong.
How could you even like the movie? The movie.
No, you shouldn't like the movie.
movie
It's up there. It's up there with Blair Witch 2.
Yeah, it's horrible. But yeah, it doesn't even tie in. That's the whole reason they had to do Halloween 4 and call it The Return of Michael Myers.
Yeah,
because
he wasn't in
so
3.
frustrated. Yeah, because he was so frustrated. Yeah.
So that's it for me.
I love it.
Yeah.
See, love these kind of topics. Love the chance to kind of go have these back and forth. And again, if you've got a great movie, you don't need the sequel. Sometimes it's just good being left on its own. So, Brad, back to you.
So I did something really crazy this week. Raw eggs, short versions for each of us. So what raw eggs is nothing. It's just whatever we want, undefined. Matt, this is basically made for you.
This is so made for me, and man, you're gonna love how Matt this is. A very quick follow-up to my list of celebrity names. Zendaya. I mean, how did I miss that one? How about Callista Flockhart? Callista? How is that someone's name? Now, this one I wasn't so sure because I think he's Scottish or something. Ewan McGregor, but I don't know anybody else named Ewan. What are you laughing at?
It's true, and I never think of this stuff, and it's the whole point.
Never.
It's true, yeah.
Liev Schreiber. Ray Donovan.
Is Leave?
I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I thought it was Liev, but Liev.
I know who he is.
Yeah, he played Ray Donovan, amongst other things.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. And one of my favorite musician of mine, who's long since passed, Lane Staley. He was the original singer of Alice in Chains. Layne.
No, we know some Lanes, don't we?
I know Lane.
Who's Lane Johnson?
I was actually going to say Lane Frost. He's a bull rider.
Who's Lane Johnson? Why is it just coming out of my mouth like I know?
You're just throwing it out there.
It sounds like a name.
It sounds like a name.
It does.
So I'm probably gonna hit the anytime I come up with like 5 more if I can. I'll come back with like 5 more at a time.
All right, very good, Matt. So something that happened very recently, and I guess now it's a week old as this airs, the NBA lottery. Now, what is the NBA lottery? So it is the 15 worst teams are in a lottery to pick who gets the first pick overall. All right. So this year, you get, there's a bunch of balls put into, like, it's like a lottery. And the worse you are, the more chances you have to be the number 1 pick. Okay. So this year, the Utah Jazz had a 14% chance at the number 1 pick. The Washington Wizards, 14. Charlotte Hornets, 14. New Orleans Pelicans, 12.5. Philadelphia 76ers, 10.5. You see what I'm doing here? And the reason I even paid attention to this year is because for the first time in a long time, the Sixers were in it. And I was very interested to see if they would get one of these great lottery picks. But this is what's really interesting. Under the current rules, only the top 4 picks are decided by the lottery and are chosen from the 14 teams that do not make the playoffs. 14, I'm sorry. The team with the worst record, or team that holds the draft rights of the team with the worst record, has the best chance to obtain the higher draft pick. After the top 4 positions are selected, The remainder of the first round draft order is in inverse order by win-loss record. So what this means is the four are picked. 1, 2, 3, 4 are picked. After that, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 just goes by record. So the first four are picked, and then 5 is the worst one left. 6 is the worst one after that left, and so on, and so on, and so on. So it's not a lottery for all 14. It's only a lottery for the first four, and they start at 14 and let you know. Well, this year, it ended up being that the Dallas Mavericks, who had a 1.8% chance, got the number 1 pick. And the Sixers got the number 3 pick, and they had a 10.5% chance. Not so weird. However, if they would have had the 7th pick, they actually had a trade that their number 1 pick. And if it was the 7th or more, they had to give that trade up. Now 6 and to 1 are protected. I found this fascinating because I never pay attention to this whatsoever. Never paid attention to this. So because they got the 3 pick, they got to keep it. And next year, if they're good, they lose their pick. I just thought this was fascinating. I don't know why. I've never paid attention to the rules of it before. And I was just totally into it. So that's what I got. Undefined.
I love listening to draft day on that for that reason of, well, if this team has the picks 4 through 6, then if it goes to this team, but if they're here, then they can move up into the top 3.
Yeah.
And then this team over here can jump in because they got this high number. And you're like, the hell is happening here?
What is happening? Right. And I never cared because the Sixers have been good for probably about 10 years. Yeah. So I haven't been paying attention. And the rules have changed in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
It's just interesting.
I mean, the whole thing was rigged for Dallas to win anyway, so it doesn't.
Crazy, 1.8% chance. Yeah. Freaking Utah is number 7 or something.
Well, I mean, would you rather send the number 1 pick to Dallas or Utah? I mean, and they did give up Luka, so they had to get something in the end.
They were 4 games under 500. They have a decent team, and now they have the number 1 pick.
Number 1 pick, yeah.
They barely missed the playoffs. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bryant.
So mine is going to be kind of a hard-boiled-ish a little bit. Steal from Brad here. I hate the hype and hysteria around the NFL schedule release. I think it's dumb. I hate how these networks dedicate 4.5 hours of television to talking about a game that who knows how it'll look by the time you get there. Let's talk about the game on Christmas Eve. I don't know. It's May. I don't care. I want to know what's going to happen. I'll care in September. I'll care what happens when we're in November. I don't care about the schedule release. I don't care. Like, release it. Cool. I'll look at it and I'll care more in September. I don't want a full one-on-one player breakdown and highlights of how this quarterback is going to do against this defense where you don't even know if half that team will be out there by then. It annoys me to no end. And I also just don't care enough that I'm seeing it all over my feeds. I see it all over television. It's May. Who cares?
I was terrified by the schedule that the Eagles got this year. Now, that can change, and I usually does. It does change, as in like the teams that you think are good aren't as good as they were the year before. But yeah, I see it. Like I don't see any, but I know what you're saying. Like I got like 70 notifications to my phone from Bleacher Report telling me about each individual schedule.
Yeah. And then like I said, you flick on ESPN if you're just flipping through channels, and it's here's our 4-hour NFL release schedule breakdown. And yeah, we're breaking down a Christmas Day game. And I'm like, who knows what that team looks like at Christmas?
Yeah. Could have a hurt quarterback.
Yeah, you're talking the Thanksgiving games with Dallas and Kansas City. Who knows if half the team's even there? Who knows if Dak's even playing? We don't know. But you're breaking it down like it's everybody's perfect. It's like,
promise you this, someone will get hurt this year. Yeah, that is going to happen, unfortunately.
It will happen, yeah. So
some team was supposed to be good, will not be.
Yes, absolutely. So, but yeah, that's mine. So,
Matt, you got anything?
Matt, you want to throw in here?
No, I mean, I don't even care much about the draft. I love the NFL. I love watching football, but that's kind of what it is for me, is watching it. I'm not a sports talk guy. I don't follow all the other stuff. I don't have alerts on my phone. Do I care what the Giants schedule is? Yeah, sure. But, the hype is It's because there's a million networks and podcasts and what have you. These people get paid to cover this stuff. So you take a nugget of information and you turn it into talking about it forever and ever, and then you get paid to do it. I mean, that's what it is. Media hype.
So on Mother's Day, my wife and I went down to the city and we watched Shen Yun. Now, do you know what Shen Yun is? Maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't.
It's a show. I see signs for it everywhere.
Everywhere. So this was a Mother's Day gift. It's Chinese. It's very unique. It's colorful. It's beautiful. So let me just tell you a little about it. Shenyun is a classical Chinese dance company that focuses on bringing to life a lost culture through beautiful art. With the vibrant costumes and backdrops, the performances tell a story of beauty and goodness of China before communism. But the group is more than just entertaining performance. Spiritual leader and the founder Falun Gong, a religious movement, Li Hongzi co-created the show to help amplify the beliefs of the religion. Although the dance group is registered as a nonprofit organization, it's become a moneymaker for Falun Gong per the Daily, which also shared that the tax records show that the group has 266 million in assets and makes well over 10 million a year in ticket sales. In August of 2024, the New York Times published an investigation into the performing arts group, revealing that many of its performers had claimed to be working under abusive conditions. According to the outlet, performers were routinely discouraged from seeking care for injuries and pushed the message that teachings could expel illnesses from their body without medical treatment. Some performers told the outlet that when they got sick or injured, instructors led them to believe something was wrong with their spiritual state, per the outlet. Meanwhile, others danced through dislocated kneecaps, sprained ankles, as a way to avoid being labeled as unfaithful, who they were taught to see as Hongzi, who they were taught to see as a living God and creator of the universe. Now, this is all being denied, and they also say that they've been trafficked and also is a cult. So they are pushing their agenda. One thing for sure is when we watch this play, there is a lot of communist, it was Nazi type like stuff in there and anti-communism. They're not allowed to show this play in China. It is not permitted. And they would have music and someone singing, and then the words were behind there because they were singing in Chinese, and it would just be very much talking about the bad values of today. You should be living in a world differently. I'll tell you what, man, it was something like I've never been seen before and didn't know a lot about it beforehand. We just kind of saw the billboards and the advertisements that looked really nice, something to do. It's a whole different world. Whole different world.
I didn't know any of that. I just know that I see like print ads for it everywhere, especially in the city. But
Yeah.
like, I swear I'll like, go pick up lunch and there's an ad for it on a door.
They say that the people that are in it or the performers are making $12,000 or less a year. I don't know what's true and what isn't. I mean, some of them have come out and said it's true. Some of them come out and said it's not. I tend to believe that a lot of it is. You know what I mean? Like they're definitely pushing their agenda in it for sure. It was enjoyable. I wouldn't see it again, but it was a Mother's Day gift. So, well, I mean, different. And I didn't know what kind of crowd was going to be there either. Just regular crowd. Regular crowd. So that's it for duck eggs. I didn't even say that's what it was.
Nope.
So, Matt, looks like we're finishing up here. Why don't you hit us with the socials?
Quick cleanup. When I was talking about Wolfgang Van Halen earlier, I of course identified his father as Eddie Van Halen. His mother is Valerie Bertinelli.
Nice. I think I did know that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I kind of left the door open for one of you guys to bring it up, but R.I.P. Sabu, legendary hardcore wrestler who passed away, we have not mentioned. And of course, we'd like to, pay our respects to him. I'm sure we're all big fans. And I don't know how this detail got by me, but his real name is Terry Brunk, which sounds a lot like Terry Funk,
Yep.
Another hardcore wrestling legend. Has anybody ever even like?
I never knew his name by anything other than Sabu.
What?
Yeah.
So R.I.P. Sabu. Guys, anything about Sabu?
It was very sudden, and I'm still not sure, we don't know all the details, but I know he wrestled very recently. He's only 60 years old. And so, I got to see him most recently at the 2300 about three years ago. and it was him and Bully Ray out there. And I just love that everything Sabu does is with a chair. He just has that chair doing it, just it's like part of his it's like part of his singlet. You know what I mean? Like it's just funny.
When I got into tape trading, he was one of the names that was always out there with the hardcore style in Japan, and he was someone that discovering him with kind of just gave a different style, and it was something that you didn't see in America much with wrestling. So he was always innovative, and then with that style, you didn't as it was always said, he liked to put people through tables, whether it was a person or himself. He would just go through a table no matter what. So great performer, always innovative, and he will be missed.
Yeah, I'm glad I got to see him a few years ago when WrestleMania was here and there was all side events. One of the events was RVD and Sabu versus Penta and Phoenix, which is pretty cool.
Wow, that's crazy,
That's
man.
cool.
Yeah, so that was pretty awesome. But anyways, this has been another episode of Three Eggs Are Better Than One. And we are cooking up every Monday morning, hopefully every Monday morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Find us on YouTube at Three Eggs Are Better Than One, the number three, the letter R, the number one. Follow us on X, Blue Sky, Instagram, and TikTok at Three Eggs Are Better, the number three, the letter R. And our individual accounts at Yes Man Brad, at B Haremza, and I am at Purple Shirt Guy without the I. We are in the market for some 5-star reviews. Pull up that Apple Podcast app. 5-star reviews, nice and easy to do. Next week, it is my turn. Guys, you're going to laugh. Episodes ago, my topic was dislikes. We went through a number of my dislikes. So I thought, I'll do an episode for my likes. That'll be
Oh, that's gonna be
nice.
short.
That'd be super short episode. Yeah.
So short, I'm not even going to do it, and I'm going to do more dislikes. Bryant, take us home.
We thank you guys for joining us this week. It's been a fun episode. We've covered some things that maybe, got us a little hard boiled. We had some deli and some, experiences at the coffee shop. And hopefully, the sequels you enjoy, hopefully keep the movie traditions alive and keep the love going for you. The egg timer's been set. We'll see you guys next week.